Generally, students are pretty good at giving us what we ask for. If we ask for a model, they give us one. But a model on the page doesn't necessarily mean student understanding in their brain. In this next video, I'll show you the difference between copying a model and constructing one, and the one giveaway that can tell you the difference. Hi, I'm Julie Russo, creator of Structures of Equality, where we're making sense of math stories. Initially, when we introduce Structures of Equality, the students are going to be copying. So what I'm talking about here is after students have been introduced to Structures of Equality and we're practicing and constructing on our own. So when that happens and a student is able to draw the appropriate bars but then misidentifies the descriptor or leaves the labels off entirely, that's when they're copying. When a student can identify the descriptors of the labels and tell you what they mean and what they represent in a math story, that's when they're constructing. Teachers ask me sometimes about how long to stay and focus on one structure of equality before moving on to the next. What I've noticed is that if we do stay too long in a parts equal total structure of equality, that students tend to think that all stories are parts equal total stories or stories that describe a parts equal total relationship or a total equal parts relationship. So it's important that we do introduce the compare model, grade level appropriate, early on when we're talking about structures of equality. When we don't do that, identifying the copying is a little more challenging because students will always draw that parts equal total model. I encourage you to go to my website and download the free Structures of Equality checklist. This checklist is a self-assessment tool for students to ensure that they have the three very important elements of Structures of Equality: values, labels and their descriptors, and equality. When students do that, they're self-assessing their ability to construct a structure of equality rather than copying a model. A great teacher move is to ask the students what their labels and descriptions mean and whether or not they match what's happening in the story. If the student can't do that, their structure is a copy, not a construction. Remember, the three structures are not templates to be filled in. They're tools to make relationships visible, and the labels and descriptors are what keep them connected to meaning.